official induction for this year. And I'm going to be the one. I'm Claudia Cummings. I'm the person that gets to be the faculty advisor to work with these really smart students, and I love it. It's really good for me. I enjoy it. I will say that this induction has really been a student. I have done very little on this. They have just taken the ball and run, and they have done such a good job, and I'm so proud of every one of them. Let's talk first, just a minute. I want to tell you this about what is Phi Theta Kappa, because some of you may not understand what an important honor society this is. This is actually the most prestigious honor society for two-year college students. There's the Greek letters Phi Theta Kappa. Since 1918, when it was first formed, there have been more than 3 million members inducted. There have been more than 1,285 chapters across the world. Twice since I've been the faculty advisor, our chapter has been in the top 100. And when you know that there's 1,285 chapters, that's pretty good. And it's not me, it's the students that get all the credit. What do you have to do to be a member of Phi Theta Kappa? You have to have a cumulative GPA of at least 3.5, and you have to have completed at least 12 semester hours at Roane State. 38% of Phi Theta Kappa members are first-generation college students. Is that not awesome? Phi Theta Kappa members are twice as likely to graduate compared to non-members with similar GPAs. I think that this one really shocked me more than any of the things I'm going to tell you, because I used to think if you had a high enough GPA that meant you would go ahead and finish your 4-year degree. But according to this statistic, everybody doesn't do that. It takes more than just having good grades to have that determination to want to go on and complete your 4-year degree. I will tell you this, it's not just your 4-year degree. I wish there were some way, you know how they put like something, a little tag on cattle, ear of cattle or whatever to keep up with them. I wish we could do that all our Phi Theta Kappa members so that I could keep up with where they are, 4 years from now. I know that, or 8 years from now. I do know that the people that graduated 2 years ago who are just now graduating from a 4-year school, out of those, I personally know of 6 or 7 that are going on for graduate degrees. And those are just the ones that have emailed me saying, hey, I just want you to know what I'm doing, or would you write me a letter of recommendation? That's pretty incredible. In fact, one of them has been accepted into LMU veterinarian school, which is, if y'all know anything about getting into veterinarian school, it's not easy. Another one is going to UT veterinarian school, so if you have any pets, I can tell you some good, in a few years, somebody good to go to. We have another one that is going to do a master's PhD program at Yale. I mean, these are people from Roane State, Don't ever let anybody put you down because you go to a community college. There have been studies done that compare students that start at a 2-year school, compare them with students and then transfer to the 4-year school. They compare them to the students that started out at a 4-year school and see how many of them graduate and what they do after graduation. And do you know that the people that start out at a community college do better in the end? That's not saying everybody that goes to is not going to be good that goes to a 4-year school, but for most people, it gives you an advantage to come to a community college. So I think you've made the right decision by being here, for sure. More than 37 million in transfer scholarships. Some of these scholarships are through ptk.org, but some of them are from the school themselves. And for an example, I'll tell you, I don't get any kickback from LMU, but they just have such a good scholarship. If you're an active member in our chapter, and I write a letter saying that you're an active member, and that means you just have participated in 10 hours of whatever we do, you get half off of your tuition for the 2 years, your junior and senior year. I have no idea how many students have gone to LMU half off tuition because they were members of Phi Theta Kappa. And that one for LMU is guaranteed. Different schools like UT and Tech have them, but they're more competitive. They're not going to guarantee that everybody that goes to our school that's a member of Phi Theta Kappa gets them. But as far as LMU, yes. And there are other schools like Carson Newman and Bryan College and Maryville College. I think it's like $10,000. I know I've got several students that are going to transfer to Maryville, so that's a really good. In fact, we have somebody right now that just graduated from Maryville, and she's going to work on her master's. So what is Phi Theta Kappa? Well, there are 4 hallmarks or tenets, what we call the basic thing. Scholarship, which we want to encourage students to do their best. And you know, I read somewhere that excellence is not just what you do on something, it's who you are. And I see that in the way that these students, they don't just do well on tests, they do well, period. Whatever we're working on, you know, they are leaders. A lot of people can make good grades, but they have no idea what to do with it. But in Phi Theta Kappa, they have the opportunity to have leadership roles, which helps me to be able to write a really good recommendation saying, hey, this person is a good student, but beyond that, they can take the ball and run with it. They know how to solve a problem. These are life skills that you get a chance to learn. The leadership is important, like we said. Service, because isn't that part of life? To help other people. And fellowship. It's just fun. And if you were a good student, you understand quickly that other students don't always understand you. In fact, I had another professor here tell me, he said, have you ever noticed it's always the good students that are coming up saying, why did I lose these 2 points? And he goes, it doesn't matter, they've already got an A. And I said, yes, it does matter, because I was one of those students. And when you're one of those students, you want to know why you missed whatever you missed. You know, because it's not just the grade. It's what do I need to learn from this. So what I want you to do, if you're here and you're an inductee tonight, I want you to stand up, because I want everybody to get a good look at the people that are really going to be the leaders of tomorrow. So would you all just stand up for just a minute? Thank you. Not only am I proud of you, and Dr. Ward and Dr. Whaley are proud of you, but somebody else that's here with you is proud of you too. And I'm glad that you've got that support group. You know, I know they've probably told you how proud they are of you, but let me tell you that not all of our Phi Theta Kappa people have somebody cheering them on. And when you do, it's really nice. So that might be something, whoever came with you might want to say thank you, you know, for being proud of me and for caring enough to come. And understand why it's important, that why I'm so obsessed with getting all this right. You know, that's good. When we say fellowship, I've had students before my biology class, I won't say that I nagged them to join, but let's just say I put a little pressure on them to join. And the second semesters when they're eligible, I had this one, she came to the first meeting. After the meeting, she said, thank you so much. And I said, for what? And she said, for kind of nagging me about coming to see what this was about. I said, oh, well, good. I'm glad you liked it. But I was kind of surprised. I thought, what could you? It's just a regular little Phi Theta Kappa meeting. She said, I finally found my group of friends, and I know tonight. She said, because in class, the people around me, like, they were happy with whatever grade they got. And she said, I just didn't understand, you know, if I didn't do good, and I always had to ask you what I missed and all this. And she said, I just thought that these people in my class don't understand me. Well, I told her, first of all, they would understand you. You would understand them better if you'd moved to the front of the class, because that's usually where the good students sit. But she said, these students in here understand why I want to do my best in every class. And sure enough, she became the president of our chapter and graduated from Tech and is going to go on to get her master's. Because it really does make a difference to have people that understand, you know, where you come from and what drives you. So I want to welcome you tonight to our induction ceremony. And with that, we will move on. And I will ask our president this year, Valerie Bailey, to come up and give a word. What do you introduce?
I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about my experience in PTK. It has been both memorable and rewarding. Although I am sad to leave Roane State, I'm looking forward to continuing my graduation, or my education and the upcoming graduation. Over the last few years, I have had the privilege of working with many amazing people from Roane State, faculty and staff, as well as PTK members and fellow officers. I've been amazed by the level of dedication, knowledge, and leadership I have been a part of. I contribute my growth professionally and personally to both them and my family. Thank you. Video. I think we have the video. Which is our presentation.
Which one is it?
PTK presentation.
From Justice, Deborah's. Deborah, is this yours?
Presentation.
Yours? Your presentation?
Mm-hmm.
What? You have one? I'm sorry. Let's try again. Hold on.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my.
Did that do it? Hold on. I'm sorry. Nope.
Windows. When would we not have technical difficulties?
Okay, hold on just a second. That says duplicate.
Bear with us, we're having technical difficulties.
No, it was working earlier today. Hold on. Okay. Okay, Matt. It says duplicate. But y'all gotta see this. It's good. It went today. I can turn it around, but they're not gonna see it.
Okay.
I think I should just turn it.
Yeah, if it's duplicate,
Do you
it
have
should
any
pop.
idea?
It just takes
Huh?
if you want to let's see, we got
Ron, I mean, I have his number. He said I can call him if there's any problem, but I don't know. Thank you, Diane, for helping.
window P.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I did. It's on duplicate, so it should be. No. I tried this today and it worked. I'm gonna play that video. don't know what's happened, but I can't get it to show on the screen, and I have it on duplicate. And it worked this afternoon. Do you have any idea what I'm doing wrong? Just the default stuff. But I showed my PowerPoint slide. My PowerPoint slide worked. But it's gone back to Learning Center Assistance Available.
Matthew's going to try to remote in. It's van-student.
Well, I don't think so.
LAU.
Because it's showing on my computer what I want to play.
And it's showing on the, yes, on the big screen. If I hit duplicate.
Okay, so is there anything I can do?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Are you talking about what plugs into the wall behind us?
Just making sure we're plugged. Did you unplug it?
I see it, yes, but it's plugged in. Do I need to check that into the computer? Okay, will y'all see? Okay. All right, I've done that. It's like loading, just a second. No, wait. I think it's going to work. It's going to work, Diane.
Okay.
Thank you, Lon. I appreciate
We're
it.
good, Martha.
It's going to work. I see, yes. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thanks, bye-bye. Okay, sorry you all. Somebody just bumped a cable, and you know how that messes us up.
Or you want it full screen, right?
Yes, I can do it now.
You got it? You let me hit play?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. If it's loud, I don't know if it's loud.
Do I need to turn it
I'll
up?
worry about that.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. See, I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is
Deborah Porter for making that awesome video. You know, I should put to be continued because the next chapter will pick up where these officers in this chapter left off.
And I have one last thing to add. I would like to recognize one more person, our PTK advisor, Claudia Cummings. Thank you for the care, support, and encouragement you offer to not only myself, but every PTK member and all your students. I cannot tell you how much you are admired and appreciated for all you do. On behalf of PTK, I would like to present you with this as a token of our appreciation.
Thank you all so much. And I feel guilty even taking this because do you feel bad when somebody, you know, thanks you or does something for something that you enjoyed every minute of? This is like selfishness on my part because I get to work with these students and they just like excite me beyond words, the ideas that they have. So I try not to let other faculty at Roane State know just how awesome this is that I get to do this because if they say, are you the PTK advisor? I go, yeah, something like that, because I don't want them competing for my job. So I really do enjoy it, and I thank you very much, but it's really the students. I don't know, they got trained well some way to give somebody else the credit, but it really is them. But thank you all, each of you, very much. The bad thing is you graduate, but the good thing is some of you stay around. I have several that I know are gonna still join our Zoom. We have somebody graduating tomorrow from MTSU, and she has joined almost every meeting since she left Roane State 2 years ago. And by the way, yes, she graduated from Roane State. Yes, she went to MTSU. And yes, she won the award for the social studies of all of MTSU. She had the highest, see, another Roane State PTK. I mean, going far. So thank you all very much. I appreciate that so much.
Next, I would like to introduce our next speaker, the VP of Scholarship, Deborah Porter.
So we don't need any of this. You don't need it.
Almost didn't have to adjust. Hi, everybody. How are you? Good. Good. There's much worse places to be. So perk up. This is a wonderful, wonderful event. So as you can tell, I'm not a traditional student. And when I first started Roane State, it was about 3 months after my mother passed away. I was heartbroken. I was lost. I had no idea what to do or where to go. So I came to Roane State. Lucky for me, that's the best place I could have come. For encouragement and uplifting, I've gotten it there. So during my freshman orientation, I was so nervous I couldn't hardly get my legs to get me in, and that was just orientation. I had no idea how I was going to go to class. While I was sitting in orientation, I didn't know it at the time, but our advisor, my advisor, Claudia Cummings, was giving tips on how to succeed. And in the midst of all that, she said, when you do succeed, be sure to join PTK because you'll get an induction or an invitation if you do well. So I thought, wow, the Honor Society, those who get the invitation must be excited. I hope I pass. After the first semester, I tried to remain in my little privacy bubble. But during induction, I saw the camaraderie and the compassion and the whole group, and I was excited. I knew that I was a part of something. I just wasn't sure exactly what yet. But through the semester, as I tried to retain in my little privacy bubble, I got excited. Part of my job as VP of Scholarship is to do the Honors in Action project. Every year, we choose an issue in the community that needs improvement or some kind of address, and we research that topic. And as much as we can learn about it, we decide from then how to improve that situation. This year with COVID, it was a little extra challenging. When we did decide what we wanted to do, then we were faced with how do we do that? So we came up with a website. Our topic was altruism, or the lack of. We decided to list 5 because it was so hard to pick just one. Everybody was giving the best they could give. So we narrowed it down to 5 nonprofit organizations. We decided that not only could people go through our website and make a donation, that all those who wanted to visit the website could just simply vote, even without making a donation. And at the end of the drive, we tallied up all those votes, and those with the most votes got an extra donation from our chapter. $500 extra to the first prize winner, $200 for the second prize, and $100 for each thereafter. How, you ask, did we do that? Well, we wrote for a grant from the organization of PTK and were granted $1,000 to use for that. So that's what we spent it for. We ended up raising over $5,000 this year for local charities just through that alone. 10,000 meals, just a second harvest. The college project that we also do is just as rewarding. It's kind of the same principle, only we have a school issue that needs to be addressed, and by the way, those coming on, good luck finding an issue to address at Roane State. I'm partial, but it's really, really a wonderful place to be. This year, when Dr. Ward gave us the option to decide, maybe if we had ideas, we knew without second guessing what it was going to be. The staff and faculty had gone out of their way to make sure we were accommodated for the COVID-19, that we felt safe, then that we could continue our education. They put themselves on the line with a smile and with patience. So we decided to give them a party and celebrate their awesomeness. We had a DJ, we had prizes, there was tears of appreciation, there was words of gratitude. So as far as getting involved, as my granny would say, we did everything we were big enough to do. Another example is just 2 weeks ago, just 2 weeks before the end of school, Oneida High School and Scott County High Schools are getting a new program together called Stand. It's a store where high schoolers can go and shop at for free. Those in need of clothing or hygiene products can go in and get that stuff without the stigma. So, you didn't have to ask us twice. Donation boxes went out, and our hearts went out. And as a matter of fact, those boxes have not been collected. If you would like to make a donation, hit me up before you leave, and I'll make sure they get to the box. So, somewhere along the line of my orientation, and I don't know if it was the college project or the HIA project, but my privacy bubble burst, and it left me very exposed. And I was exposed to strength, I was exposed to encouragement, and I was exposed to security of friendship and the most awesome people you could ever be around in your life. And with their support, me, even ran for international officer through PTK, an international office. And I also ran for a regionals office. And do you know they didn't make fun of me one time when I didn't get either one of them? I will tell you what I've seen them do. I've seen them solve every issue without hesitation that's been set in front of them, even some of my own personal ones. I heard from very beginning that PTK was the honor society. But what I've learned along the way is that I am PTK. They are PTK. And now you guys are PTK. And I would like to introduce one of the most awesome PTK members, if I can find her. Kayla Cooper. Say it again. Cooper. All right. Everybody give it up for Kayla Cooper, which is also an inductee.
Thank you, Deborah. As Deborah mentioned, my name is Kayla Cooper, and I am the Vice President Leadership of the Beta Alpha Chi chapter. While the heart of Phi Theta Kappa is academia, it is also about service and community involvement. These values have created some of my fondest memories from the past 2 semesters. It is one thing to strive for excellence through good grades and keeping up your GPA, but what really counts is character. Character isn't something that can be taught in a mainstream classroom, and it's up to societies like Phi Theta Kappa to encourage members to go beyond academics and grow as human beings. If you were to ask different people what having character means, you're likely to receive a multitude of definitions. I believe that character is more than developing who you are. When someone builds character, they are losing thought of themselves and focusing on other people. As strange as it sounds, in losing thought of oneself, one is finally beginning to be someone. Helping others is a necessity, and unfortunately, as many of us know, not many people are willing to go out of their way to do it. Not only does Phi Theta Kappa encourage its members to achieve academically, it also teaches us the value of being someone. As members, we were afforded the opportunity to serve in a variety of projects and causes in order to gain service hours. Some of them that stick out to me are the food pantry, the Halloween trunk or treat, and assisting with the street painting festival in Oak Ridge. Seeing some of my fellow members go out of their way to help others truly shined a light on the impact that PTK has, and it made me more proud to be a member. I was at the street painting festival from sun up to sundown. It was a long day, but let me tell you, it was one of my favorite memories from the past year. It looked a lot different than usual with the mask mandate and the social distancing. Sanitation was a must. But the volunteers who worked alongside me worked very hard to ensure that everything went smoothly, and thankfully it did. It was a wonderful experience, not only to view the amazing creations, but to know that I was helping people stay safe while doing it. We assisted with the handling of supplies, as well as certificates and counting votes. It was so wonderful to see how many diverse groups of people gathered to participate despite the obstacles of the past year. I got to listen to participants' messages, both in viewing their art as well as listening to them talk about what inspires them. It made me feel as though I was becoming part of a community, which is a great start to what I hope is a long continuation of service through PTK. Though I don't have personal experience with the food pantry or the trunk or treat, I do know that my fellow members worked very hard and will continue to do so to ensure the enrichment and involvement in our community. I have fond memories of dressing up and going to trunk or treats as a kid. During a year where many feared that that holiday would be canceled, I know that providing a safe sense of normalcy and joy in a year that seemed completely devoid of those things had a significant impact on the community. This past year was very hard. No one could have predicted the complete pandemonium that took place. We are all aware of the financial hardships associated with the pandemic. By assisting with the food pantry, we provided families who would have done without, and that gave them a sense of security. This sense of security is so important, especially during times like this, where more and more families in our community are in need of assistance. 2020 really did seem to be the year that threw everyone for a loop. Roane State and Beta Alpha Chi were no exception. With no in-person meetings, few in-person classes, and a world turned completely upside down, we had every excuse as a chapter to take a step back and put everything on hold. But that's not who we are. No, my Phi Theta Kappa family decided that when we were faced with hardship, we saw opportunity instead. Opportunity to be involved, opportunity to rise above challenges, opportunity to give our chapter a voice. Our fantastic PTK advisor, Claudia Cummings, led by example and made sure that PTK would not stand by and wait until times were more convenient. She made sure that we would hold virtual meetings, get involved, and share our thoughts on how we can help our school and our community. For that, we owe her a lot of appreciation and gratitude. No one could have prepared me for how much I would love PTK. What I imagined would simply be an honor society would become a second family to me. I couldn't have foreseen the sense of inclusion and community that I would receive when I first read my invitation. To be surrounded by like-minded individuals who understand the value of working hard to achieve their dreams, it really makes me realize how lucky I am. By watching fellow members take initiative in things like the food pantry, trunk or treats, and other community events and causes, I know that my PTK family consists of so many kind, determined, skilled individuals who are ready to go out into the world and be someone. Getting a degree or certification is a great accomplishment, but working hard and becoming part of a society focused not only on joining together like-minded individuals, but also on teaching the values of service and community. That is a greater accomplishment, one that will help send these successful and brilliant individuals out into the world to change it for the better. Thank you for letting me share that message. I would now like to turn it over to our Secretary, Dusty Prater.
Hey, Kayla, you've just earned yourself a spot on representing our chapter at the speech competition for regionals. That was awesome. I would like to, there's nobody who could have done that better. You know, I know what Dr. Whaley and Dr. Ward are thinking, and if I'm wrong, they can say no. They're just sitting there thinking, those students are awesome. How does Roane State, I mean, this is just like so, it's got to be encouraging to you to see what our students are like. Thank you for that. And Deborah and Valerie, both, but I know y'all are, Valerie's graduating, but Kayla? That's good. Justin.
Yeah, I think I
Okay, just open it.
All right, thank you, Kayla. Now, normally, officers at past inductions, they talk about why they joined PTK. But since I'm the secretary, I have to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to talk about why I stuck around in PTK. Because I think we can all agree in life, starting things, it's real easy. I have a whole list of projects I need to do when I get home. But sticking around and being committed, that's what's hard. Now, as the secretary, I normally see how students become members. They normally ease their way in, the way you ease your way into a pool on a cool summer morning. They attend a few meetings, maybe do some community service at their campus. But I didn't have that luxury. Claudia Cummings, at my first meeting, proudly volunteered me to go on a trip to regionals, which was on the other side of the state, with 7 complete strangers I didn't know from the man in the moon, for an entire weekend. Being an introvert, this is like being thrown into the said cold pool on a summer morning. But in both situations, once you get acclimated to it, it's not too bad. Over the course of those 3 days, I went from not knowing them at all to having 7 new best friends. I learned so much from them in just that short amount of time. I talked about theological ideas with Wesley. I learned how the legal system works from Anna. I learned how to clog from Suzanne. And Valerie, she taught me the art of tactful diplomacy in tricky situations. And that just meant so much to me, because I come from a background where education and learning things is frowned down upon. Book learning ain't no good for the real world, many members of my family say. But in PTK, things are different. People here value education. They value learning. And I think Eleanor Roosevelt said it best in one of her quotes. Small minds discuss people. Average minds discuss events. But great minds discuss ideas. And in PTK, I'm surrounded by great minds and great people constantly. Now, this experience at regionals, it's led me to hold it in a special place in my heart. And even though I didn't go to internationals, I'm sure it'd hold the same place. So I'd like to talk a little bit about what our chapter did for regionals and internationals this year. Now, our chapter, because we're the best, we attend all the meetings we can, so that means 2 regional meetings and 1 international meeting. Now, we had to do all of these virtually. We didn't get to go on an airplane to a trip and do Six Flags or Disneyland, nothing fun like that. But I still think it was fun, educational, informative, and we got to have some good fellowship at the same time. Now, internationals is the cream of the crop. It's where all of the PTK members from all around the world converge on one spot, and we just celebrate being PTK members. Many years ago, it used to be called Nerd Nation because there were so many nerds per square foot. But they've changed the name to Catalyst now, which as a biology major, I like. Gives me a chance to talk about biology. And this year, we got to do things a bit differently for internationals. As Deborah already mentioned, she is the first person in Beta Alpha Chi history to run for an international position, and even though she had the best campaign, I'm not biased, she really did, the other chapters didn't think so. But she has a happy ending in the end, and I'll get to it in a minute. The other thing that we really did that I thought was very innovative is that we had a watch party. And I had no idea what that was, but essentially we got together on the Oak Ridge campus and we watched some of the ceremonies on the projector. And we got Wendy's to cater. We brought in so much food. I think we had maybe 2 or 3 tables like that full of food and only 11 people, so we had plenty of leftovers. And that was just a really strong moment of fellowship. And I hope that whenever things get back to normal, you'll have something like that or even greater. Now, regionals this year. This is where all 13 chapters from Tennessee, including Roane State, gather in one spot. For me, it was in West Tennessee, but it moves every year. This year, we had the fall meeting and the spring meeting. The fall meeting, it really didn't do much for our chapter, because it was geared mainly toward getting people motivated to do HIAs and college projects. But since we're already so intrinsically motivated, we just got to sit back, relax, and enjoy our guest speaker. But spring regionals, that's where it gets real interesting, because we get to compete for awards and even a publication in the PTK Mosaic. And I think our chapter cleaned up pretty nicely. For awards, Claudia Cummings received the Distinguished Advisor Award, like she rightly deserves. Our member, Teresa Knight, received first place in the Distinguished Chapter Member Award. Our officer team placed second overall in the whole state. And our college project also ranked second across the whole state. In regards to our writing contest, Deborah Porter placed second for her poem, Mistakes, and Valerie Bailey placed third for her nonfiction story, and I'm losing the title, forgive me. But then we also had some honorable mentions who didn't place but still earned a spot in the publication. Deborah Porter for her research paper on metaphysics and philosophy, a very deep research paper. It was way over my head. We also had Brent Boutelle. He did his on the Sinking of the Britannia, a very interesting historical narrative. And then I earned an honorable mention for my research paper on antibiotic resistance. For any of you interested, I'll be selling signed copies at the back after this is over. But overall, I couldn't be prouder of what all my chapter has done this year in spite of COVID. And I'm even more optimistic to see what all of you do in years to come. And I would like to leave you with a biology quote from my favorite biologist, Edward O. Wilson, because I think he sort of symbolizes in this concise statement about what it means to be a PTK member who fosters academic scholarship. Keep your head lifted and your eyes turning. The thirst for knowledge is in our genes. It was put there by our distant ancestors who spread across the world, and that thirst is never going to be quenched. Thank you. Now, if that didn't inspire you, I'm sure this next person will. Tennessee Supreme Court Justice Sharon Lee heard about our chapter's determination not only to push through the pandemic, but our success despite it. She has a pre-recorded message and a few words of advice for the inductees and a few of our seasoned members as well. Please enjoy Justice Lee's story as she encourages us to maintain persistence.
Well, thank you for inviting me to speak today. It is an honor to be with you. And congratulations to the new members of Phi Theta Kappa. Your academic accomplishments set you apart from other students. You are on the right path to leadership and service to your community. So thank you for that. We need leaders like you. This past pandemic year has been interesting to say the least, certainly one for the record books, and hopefully one that will not be repeated. Without question, the pandemic upended our lives and our world. Over 31 million people in this country tested positive for COVID-19. Close to 570,000 people lost their lives, and many more were hospitalized. Yet here we are. You survived. You persisted. You not only continued with your education, but you excelled. And some of the tools you used to get through this global pandemic are the very same tools that will lead you to a lifetime of success. COVID-19 required us, among many things, to be resilient, adaptable, open to new opportunities, and grateful for health, family, and friends. Now, to succeed, you have to be resilient, and that means toughness, having grit, the ability to recover from difficulties. Now, difficulties are just part of life. None of us can avoid them. And sometimes stuff just happens. And while we cannot control certain circumstances, we can control our responses. And I think the best responses are the ones that are thoughtful, compassionate, and hopeful. For me, COVID was really worrisome. I tried to educate myself, listen to science, consider my options, and then how my behavior affected others. And for me, that meant keeping my distance from others. Fortunately, I had a job that allowed me to do that. I continued to do my work on the Supreme Court, working sometimes at home, sometimes in the office. And by using technology, we were able to continue to hear all of our cases, first by WebEx, and then we converted to Zoom. And we have no backlog of cases now because we did not let COVID slow us down. I wore a mask. I got vaccinated the first chance I got. And that was my response to a serious health risk, to protect myself, my family, and others who were at risk. And I'll also have to say, I probably got really lucky too. I'm not giving myself credit for all the safety that I had, but I was lucky. And I tried to stay hopeful. I trusted that a vaccine would be developed, and one was, just with incredible speed. And I trusted that things would eventually return to normal. In the meantime, I tried to look for a silver lining. For me, that meant things slowed down. I had less court-related travel and speeches that I had to do, and I was able to spend more time working on my cases, which is what I love more than anything. I had more time to read and do things at home. I watched more Netflix than I ever have. Actually got into some of those, some stuff I hadn't had time to do. Also learned a lot about technology. I'd never done Zoom before COVID, and now, this is my third Zoom event of the day, and it's just 1:00. The legal profession, the teaching profession, and many other fields learned how to use technology to be more efficient and effective. Admittedly, COVID presents a very extreme example. More often, we are met with lesser challenges. We apply for a job and we don't get it. We try something and we fail. Is it disappointing? Well, yeah, of course it is. Does it happen to most of us? Yes. Does it happen to all of us? Probably so. I can assure you it's happened to me many times. And it's tempting to feel sorry for yourself and blame somebody else. But, that doesn't get you anywhere. The best response is just look to see, how did this happen? Sometimes there's a good reason. Sometimes, you weren't the right person or something just didn't work out on your end. But also, sometimes life just isn't fair. Sometimes you don't get what you want. For whatever the reason is, you have to regroup and continue to move forward. I think another key to success is being adaptable. That we're meeting today by Zoom is a great example of how we have adapted. The first time we held Supreme Court arguments by Zoom last April, we were really concerned about how it would work. These were important cases, and we wanted to make sure everybody had a fair day in court, and we just didn't know if that would happen by Zoom. But after the first docket, we realized it did, and it's worked very, very well. All of our cases were heard in a timely manner. And the great part about it is our cases were broadcast on YouTube, and they're there, as long as YouTube's around. So, we had a case last summer we heard. We had over 800 people listen to the YouTube. It was a case of a lot of public interest. And when we have court in our courtrooms, we may have, on a big day, 8 or 10 people. But we were having, 800 to 900 people view this case on YouTube. That's an incredible service to the community. It makes the judiciary more transparent, I think more effective, more trusted. So I love the fact that we have opened our courtrooms to so many people at their convenience to watch our arguments. We had arguments today, for example, and I checked YouTube right after the arguments. We had 73 views. That's 10 times, more than 10 times the number of people who would have been in the courtroom listening. So sometimes your plans get upended and things don't work out, and you just have to adapt. And to adapt, often that means you have to step outside your comfort zone. Personally, when I started practicing law, I was really uncomfortable speaking in front of others and to groups. And I had a big fear of failure and being embarrassed. And that's not something you really have the luxury of doing if you're a lawyer trying cases. But to succeed, I knew I had to conquer that fear. And I did it by just making sure I was very prepared each time I had a trial and just making myself do it over and over. And I was pretty miserable for a long time of that. But eventually I realized, hey, I can do it. This is something that I can handle. But it was not comfortable. But if I was going to do what I wanted to do, I had to get over it. And success also means finding opportunities. It's rare that a great opportunity just falls in your lap. It never has for me, honestly. More likely, you just got to get out and make your own opportunities. And when you find it, you got to be willing to take a chance. Because when you take an opportunity, you can succeed or you can fail. But you can't let your fear of failure keep you from trying to do what you want to do. An example, I wanted to be a judge, and nobody came in and said, hey, we're going to make you a judge. I ran for office and I lost. I still wanted to be a judge, so I ran again. And the first time I ran in my county, I lost. The next time I ran in 4 counties, I also lost. You'd think by then I might have gotten the message, you're not going to be a judge. And actually, I did pretty well, I think that. But as it turned out, I was appointed by the governor to serve on the Court of Appeals, which was a higher judicial position than those I had run for. So, and I ended up being Chief Justice of the Tennessee Supreme Court after being appointed and reappointed and then elected several times. That's something I never dreamed possible. But I think it took those initial failures to get me in a position where I could be on the highest court. So I think what I learned from those failures, which were very public, when you run for office and you lose, it's a very public failure. It's not something you can hide from anybody. You got to try, you got to work hard. And I think when you lose, you have to lose very graciously and with dignity. And it's possible then more opportunities will come your way if you remain open. And no matter what success you have, no matter how many awards you receive or how many plaques you have on your wall, how much money you make, your true and lasting happiness, though, will come from your relationships, your family and your friends, and the people you show kindness to, even people that you don't even know. You can make a difference in their lives and in your own life. The isolation that came from COVID-19 really made me realize the value and importance of gathering with family or getting together with friends, and a hug or even a handshake. You realize how much you miss those small personal interactions. And I think I took those for granted, and I missed them. The personal interactions we have are not only important, but they're really necessary for our mental health. Without our connections with others, we cannot truly give our best effort. We can for a while, but without that support, we weaken. So as you go forward, I hope you will value your family and your friends and yourself. Remember yourself. You have to care for your health, your heart, and your mind if you're going to truly succeed. So my wish for you is that as you go forward and continue to excel, you will remain resilient, adaptable, open to opportunities, and grateful for the blessings of family and friends. And if you do, you will truly succeed. Thank you for letting me be with you today.
What a great speaker. Fun fact, she's from my hometown. I taught her everything she knows. Now, I have the honor of introducing Dr. Diane Ward, Roane State's Vice President of Student Learning for the Good as Gold Awards.
My apologies as we dance just a little bit up here to get ready. The Good as Gold Awards that have been established by Phi Theta Kappa, I know as a member of the faculty at Roane State, the faculty and staff that these students recognize, it means so much to us. The faculty and staff here, they put so much into, pour into our students, into our campus, trying to make the very best environment that we can possibly make. And I think you can agree, these are the best of the best. And the party that they threw for our faculty and our staff, it meant so much. When they talked about tears of joy and laughter, the faculty and the staff at Roane State were just so overwhelmed that the students recognized what the faculty had poured into their classes, what the staff, the many hours of cleaning classrooms and getting things ready for them to be on campus, that it was recognized. It really meant so much. But these special awards that Phi Theta Kappa give to our faculty and staff, they do it each year to recognize those that have went above and beyond in a special way. And I'm going to let Deborah introduce the Good as Gold Awards this year and talk just a little bit about each of them.
Let me take that off so you can hear me a little bit better. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ward, for introducing these. As she said, these people have gone above and beyond the call of duty. They've helped us to really shine. So when I call your name, could you please come and distance but stand up front, please? Sarah Self, Shelley Esquivel, Dr. Matt Waters, Marcia Matthews, and Sandra Roberts. Could you please come to the front because you are our Good as Gold nominees. All of these guys have jumped at a moment's notice. They have not only given us their undivided attention, but they've promoted us in ways that lets everyone know they're proud of us, and we are proud of them. That's why we couldn't narrow it down to one. Congratulations, you are all our Good as Gold recipients. Shelley, I would like to thank you for helping us with the grants that we had no idea we needed help with. Dr. Waters, I emailed you at 5:07 on a Friday, I think, and by 5:11 you emailed me with an answer and a boost of, it's okay, calm down. Ms. Matthews, you keep our excitement out of jail and out of a lawsuit. We couldn't do it without any of you. Thank you so much. Well, now if we can have Professor Cummings come back up, we will start our new inductees.
Okay, as I call your name, Dr. Whaley, if you will help me here. These are, let's do that afterwards, is that okay? These are beta certificates to our chapter. And if you will come forward when I call your name, and just, if you don't mind, just stand, we have a big space in here, so just stand up here till everybody is called, please. Madison Brassfield is from Caryville, Tennessee. She attends the Campbell County campus. She is transferring as a Tennessee transfer path in biology. She's been at Roane State 2 years. She's going to transfer to LMU for a bachelor's degree in biology. She enjoys baking and spending time with her family and friends. Congratulations, Madison. Kiera Eaton is from Cumberland Gap, Tennessee. She also attends the Campbell County campus. Her major is pre-allied health science, and she is a freshman this year. She plans on transferring to the University of Tennessee to pursue a job in medical imaging. She enjoys spending time with her family and friends, shopping, and being outdoors. Congratulations to Kiera. He can't come, so we'll skip him. Okay, Barry wasn't able to come at the last minute, so we will move to Cheyenne Harness, who is from La Follette. She attends the Campbell County campus and the Oak Ridge campus. Her major is health information management. She's been at Roane State 3 years, and after she gets her associate's degree, she plans on going ahead to get her bachelor's degree. She enjoys reading, spending time with family and friends, and spending time on the lake. Congratulations to Cheyenne. Next we have Satara Henry. She is from Harriman, and she attends the Harriman campus. Her major is the Science of Applied Science, Associate of Applied Science in Nursing. She has been at Roane State a year and a half. She will stay at Roane State and attend the RN nursing program this fall of 2021. And just in case you don't know, that's a very highly competitive program to be accepted into. She loves to spend time with her husband and her 2 boys. She enjoys going to church and being active in the community. She also enjoys painting and spending time outdoors. Congratulations to you, Satara. William Brent James is from Cofield, and he attends the Oak Ridge campus. And I'm just going to, was I supposed to be calling you Brent all these times? And I've been calling you William? I'm sorry.
You can call me any of those. They're all first
Okay,
names anyway.
well, I'll try to remember to change over, but his major is business administration. He's been at Roane State a year. He's going to transfer either to UT or Tech to finish his bachelor's degree after he graduates next spring. He enjoys moving, whether it's inside or out. He enjoys hiking, swimming, hitting the gym, or playing the baseball with his kids. When it's time to settle down, he says that we can find him trying to teach himself something new on the guitar, looking at the stars, or watching a horror movie. So that's cool, Brent. Congratulations. Kayla Coper, who you've already met, she joined after our induction, but as soon as she joined, we twisted her arm and got her to be an officer, and that's one of the best things that we did. She lives in Clinton. She attends the Oak Ridge campus. She's in mechanical engineering, and she's on the Tennessee transfer pathway. Do you not play instruments too? I thought you did several of them. That's how we got to know you first for some way. That's what I was interested to see, is mechanical engineering. She plans on transferring to the University of Tennessee. She enjoys engineering, robotics, music, writing, and art, and speaking, I'm going to add. Congratulations, Kayla. Lydia Luna is our next person I'm going to call up. She's from Knoxville. She attends the Oak Ridge campus. She's a pre-allied health major. She's been at Roane State 2 years, and she is going to attend LMU in the medical laboratory science program And I think I told you, Lydia, that one of our former LMU people has graduated from there. And if you haven't talked to her, if you'll tell me, I'll give you her cell phone number. She would be so happy to talk to you because she loves that program. So I'm glad that you're here. She's a good biology student. Her hobbies enjoy grilling and cooking. Thank you, Lydia, for joining, and congratulations. Next we have Savannah Caitlin Mary. She lives in Sweetwater. She attends either online or here at Harriman. Her major is psychology, and this is first year. She will graduate next spring. She plans on transferring to Maryville College, and I did say, remember, Savannah, they have a good PTK scholarship. She's going to major in psychology and neuroscience and minor in criminal justice. Wow. Thrifting and spending time with her dog named Moose are her hobbies. Congratulations, Savannah. Lee McFall. She is from La Follette, and she attends the Campbell County and Oak Ridge, and she is also one of our officers. She is in pre-nursing. She's going to stay at Roane State, so you and Satara will be in classes together. So that's pretty cool. She's in the nursing program, of course. Her hobbies include painting, cooking, reading, and spending time with her family. Congratulations, Lee. Next we have Carly Powell. Carly lives in Duff, Tennessee, and she has attended online. Her major is nursing. This is her first year at Roane State. She plans on getting her Associates of Science in Nursing and then completing an online RN BSN program at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. She enjoys reading, crafting, spending time with her family and dog Bandit, and being outdoors. Congratulations to you, Carly. Shannon Russell is our next inductee. She is from Harriman, and she attends this campus. Her major is wildlife and fisheries conservation biology. She was at Roane State for 3 years earlier in the 2000s, and now she has been here since 2018. She's going to transfer to Tennessee Tech. Her hobbies are animal husbandry, gaming, knitting, motorcycles, and emergency services. Congratulations, Shannon. We have Riley McKenzie Webster, who is from Knoxville. She attends the Oak Ridge campus. Her major is nursing. She plans on transferring either to UT or LMU to pursue her bachelor degree in science of nursing. She has many interests and hobbies, but she has to put nursing on the top of the list. She's a certified nursing assistant, and truly being able to help others is her favorite thing in the world. She's going to fit right in PTK. I also enjoy socializing. She enjoys it with her friends, shopping, and crafting. Congratulations, Riley. Christy Harrell is from Harriman. She attends the Harriman campus. She is, her major is general science. She's been here for 2.5. She is going to transfer, but not sure where. But I can tell you this because she's my student. Wherever she transfers, she'll do well. She enjoys watching her son play baseball. Congratulations, Christy. Liza Williams is our next inductee. Liza is from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. She attends the Oak Ridge campus. She's going to get an Associate's in Science. She's been at Roane State for 2 years. She plans on transferring to UT and to get a bachelor's in speech pathology. Then she wants to continue to get her master's in speech pathology. She enjoys playing tennis, hiking, walking with her dog, working out, and I'm going to add studying biology because I know her too. Congratulations, Liza. Each of you, I want to say congratulations, and not that I want to put pressure on you, but we have a couple of our officers returning, but the rest are graduating. You know, if they're in my class, I try to fail them. Maybe they can't go on to the other school. But some of them will be leaving, so we will have officer spots, you know, available, and we'd love to have you, so that's something you can think about. Thank you. You all may sit down, but I need for Dr. Ward and Dr. Whaley to hang around up here for just a minute. Thank you all very much. Laura, Looney, why did I miss you? I know why, because I didn't have your paper. Laura, I'm sorry. Laura, come up here. Alyssa is an officer, but she's not here. Laura is one we're talking to, because she's been an integral part of our chapter. I can tell you about Laura. Laura, are you at the Cumberland campus?
Yes, ma'am.
Cumberland campus, and she's got 2 precious boys. She is a wonderful mother because whenever we have our Zoom meeting, we get to see her boys, and I love that in the background and her interaction with them. And we're very proud of you. Laura, what's your major?
I'm paralegal studies, and I'm also a member of Lambda Epsilon Chi, which is the paralegal. Oh, thank you.
Oh, how awesome.
Honor Society for the Paralegals.
You've just made Dr. Whaley very happy.
That's exactly right.
Thank you, Laura, and I'm so sorry. We just say the best for last. Thank you very much.
Did you need Diane?
Yes. And Dr. Ward, if you will come up here too. Do you know that we could not have the chapter we do if we did not have the support of Dr. Whaley and Dr. Ward? I know every year we tell them this, but every year we're reminded. We go to meetings with our other chapters in Tennessee. They are just overwhelmed at the support we have from these 2 people. They are on their own. Anytime we ask them to do anything, they come to some of our meetings when we're kind of stuck on a project. And we're just like with our mouth open because we say, this is where we're stuck. We don't know what to do. And whichever one is there, they say, okay, I'm making a note of that. I can take care of this. We'll call this person, and this person will do this, and I'm going to do this. And I'm telling you, they help us to get the ball running. Because a lot of times, we don't know who to talk to. We don't know what resources we have available. And every single time in every project we have done, it has been a success because of their input and their help for us. And we have, Deborah, can you hand us, I have the certificates, but Diane, yours got broken, so you can look at it, huh?
We fixed it.
You fixed a broken thing?
Yes.
You're awesome. But I don't know if we've given you these certificates before, but if we have, you haven't had one signed by Valerie, who's our president this year.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, and I'm telling you, these are the best people ever for a community college, so let's give a round of applause to them. Well, do you know what, y'all? I'm not with it. There was something else before you. If you all will just stand up, if you're one of the inductee, just stand where you are, because I'm supposed to get you to say this. Just a minute.
I think it's because I covered it up.
No, it's not your fault. It's my fault. Okay. I'm going to say, honored president and fellow Phi Theta Kappa members, I'm pleased to present to you these candidates who are willing to stand up, and forgive me for not keeping them up here. They have fulfilled all the requirements for membership and have been selected because they have chosen scholarship, leadership, service, and fellowship as their hallmarks. I recommend them for acceptance into the Beta Alpha Chi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa Society. Inductees, you are about to be inducted into a scholarly fellowship which embraces the community colleges, not only of our state, but of the nation and the world. This fellowship is Phi Theta Kappa, and our chapter is Beta Alpha Chi. After induction, you will find among the members an atmosphere of scholarship to which you must give of yourself in order that the organization may be meaningful to you. Okay, would you repeat after me? I, and then say your name. I do solemnly promise to uphold the standards of Phi Theta Kappa and to keep this object and aim in mind. I do solemnly pledge to my fellow members and promise to aid them in worthy endeavors. It is my pleasure to welcome you into the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society and the lively fellowship of scholars that it affords. I salute you for your accomplishments. I charge you to explore always for truth and to dedicate yourselves to the cultivation of a well-reasoned life, which is a prelude to service and honor. Now you're officially Phi Theta Kappans. You may be seated. Thank you. Let me just have, if you were an officer this year, would you just stand up? We just want to recognize you one more time if you were an officer for this year. Now you may sit down. Thank you very much. Dr. Whaley has a special presentation, and after that, we've already had a group photo. I'm going to say thank you very much, but listen to Dr. Whaley.
Okay. Good evening again, everybody. It's a pleasure to get to see you. Thank you so much for coming out tonight and spending a very meaningful evening with us. We're so delighted to get to do this in person and to honor these students, these student leaders. Let me just say before I do this next presentation, number one, even though she doesn't want me to say this, my mind was going back to, I think it must have been 2010. I was in a different role at the college that time, and we were in need of a leader for this honor society. And I remember at that time asking the person who was then the dean of one of our academic divisions, well, you know, who is the most caring, energetic, who is the person that's going to take this organization and move it forward, whose heart beats for students? And that former dean, Larry Bolden, said, well, I know exactly who you need to ask, and her name is Claudia Cummings. And so I asked her into my office. She looked a little bug-eyed. I think she thought she was in trouble. But when I put her at ease and talked to her a little bit about the organization, I could just see, I don't know if I've ever told her this, but I could just see, even though she had some questions about the logistics, I could just see, you ever talk to somebody, you could just almost see them light up like, I'm going to say yes to this. I have some initial questions, but I'm going to say yes to this. And we are so very blessed that she did. With all due respect to the other great colleges and their great leaders across this country, you will not find a more passionate, student success-centered leader for any chapter of PTK or any other organization, frankly, for that matter, than Claudia Cummings. We appreciate you and salute you, ma'am. And then to these officers, and I seem to say this every year, and then we worry a little bit, well, how could there ever be any group of officers that does as well as the group that we've just had? And even though they all do great things, we just keep, having this succession of great, no pressure. You say no pressure with all of you all. But to all of you as officers, you just blow us away with your passion and enthusiasm. We know how smart each and every one of you are, but those qualities of leadership and caring and those other things that you all bring to the table and show us every day, exactly the heart of what makes the heart of Roane State beat. You all exemplify that, and we could not be more blessed to have had you as our leaders for this organization. Thank you all so much to all of the officers and leaders of PTK. And then finally, to our new members, to our new inductees. Let's just be honest. 100 years ago or so, when I was in college, there were organizations that you signed up for just so you could sort of have that name on a resume and put them down. This isn't one of those, okay? You are now part of the premier academic organization amongst community colleges, academics and leadership. And what we really want you to consider doing is plugging in. getting involved. All right, that could look a bunch of different ways. You don't necessarily have to be the one speaking. You can be behind the scenes. But what I encourage each and every one of you to do before you leave tonight is go ahead and reach out to one of these existing officers or reach out to Claudia and say, hey, how can I get involved? Not only do we need your leadership, but you, as you've heard from these folks, even if you're a little shy about it, you will be so glad that you plug in, because you're going to make lifelong friends and folks that you will carry friendships through long after you leave Roane State Community College. So let's just commit to each other tonight that you all are going to reach out to one of these folks after this is over with and say, how can I plug in? How can I be an active member? Now, speaking of active members, this is something that we normally get to do in person, but this has been far from a normal year. We all know that. There is each year recognized, usually in Nashville, with our chancellor of our TBR system, as well as presidents, legislators representing all across the state of Tennessee, our all-state academic team. And each community college gets to have 2 representatives to be named. So this is sort of the premier award of all the premier things and the outstanding things that this group does. But again, obviously, for reasons that you all know, we didn't get to do this in person with with the nice big lunch at Nashville. So what more fitting or appropriate time for us to announce to you the 2 recipients of the all-academic team, the 2 members from Roane State, than to do that as a part of this celebration tonight. And as I read a little bit about them, I'm going to ask both of them to join me here at the podium. Deborah Porter, Dusty Prater, would you walk up here for just a moment, please, and stand right here? The list of accomplishments are long, and the honest truth is we don't have time to do all of them. So these are just highlights, folks. Let's start ladies first with Deborah Porter, Beta Alpha Chi Vice President of Scholarship, Roane State Student Government Association Vice President, selected as a Roane State student representative for the Roane State Open Educational Resource videos that we did. She was the chief writer, as she mentioned, for the $1,000 Honors and Action Grant, which was used for chapter donation to local charities. She's been continuously on the president's list. She had 2 papers published in the PTK Tennessee Mosaic Literary Magazine. She is the one who envisioned and led the Honors and Action Project to raise, as she mentioned, over $5,000 to combat hunger, provide shelter, and ensure education for those in need. And there has not been any time in our recent history when that need has been greater than in the last several months. So thank you for that. She was a candidate for International Vice President Division II, a Vice President candidate for Region 2 in the state, a TBR Student Regent candidate, Chief Writer for the Chapters Honors and Action Project, for the Chapters College Project, been an active member of the Adult Advisory Committee for the Vice President of Institutional Effectiveness, Planning, and Student Success at Roane State. She assisted in the naming committee with naming and dedicating rooms and buildings at Roane State, which I very much appreciate. She was the chapter liaison to the governing board for the state HIA project. Master of Ceremonies at the Zoom event, which we've talked about, which meant so much to Roane State faculty and staff. Been a guest, class guest room speaker. I didn't say that right. A guest classroom speaker, there we go, to encourage PTK enrollment. A speaker at the Roane State In-Service Convocation, participant in Roane State's Equity Evenings to explore and design ways to combat social injustice and inequalities, and a member of the Roane State Book Club, and then some, and then some, and then some. Dusty, whom you've already met as well, in the Learning Center, tutored from math up to Calculus 1, general biology, general chemistry, statistics, writing, served as an embedded tutor. We embed tutors in some of our classes for those students in those sections for 2 general biology 1 classes. The Oak Ridge Learning Center Student Tutor Award, he's the recipient there. Worked an event that we call the Long Night Against Procrastination that we hold toward the end of the semesters to make sure that students get their papers done and their projects completed. In the chemistry club, he planned organization activities there. Honors projects, he's done 4 honors projects, both in biology, chemistry, which has earned him his honors associate, for which he should be very proud. Listen to his awards: the General Biology Award, the General Chemistry Award, the Outstanding Freshman, the Oak Ridge Learning Center Student Tutor Award, the Freshman Math Award, and was a finalist for the President's Award. As you know, in PTK, he served as secretary in the Welcoming Committee, worked on the Honors in Action college projects, the Hallmark Award write-ups, and induction planning. These are 2 super individuals who, in addition to all that stuff they were doing, were acing all their courses. So if you can imagine that, we have certificates and medallions for them. Claudia, would you come up and give them the medallions, please? There we have one. There's the other one. And they also have these really nice certificates, which really are only, in essence, a small way to show them how much we appreciate them as our all-state academic team. So Dusty Prater, Deborah Porter, congratulations. Would you give them one more round of applause, please?
Let me get my phone and get a picture of them, send them some.
Sure. And hold on right there. We're going to get a photo.
Yeah, you get over there with them if you don't mind.
I will do it. Oh, let me mask up.
Ready? 1, 2.
Very good. We're good now? Again, it's been our sincere honor. New inductees, remember the pact that we made and what you're going to do right now when I tell all of you, thank you for traveling, some of you a great distance, but I hope you've enjoyed this evening. Thank you so much. Have a safe trip home.